Hello everyone, this is an essay review for our midterm exam, which will be in the month of January. And today's topic, we need to be familiar with as many presidents as possible. So today's topic will be Thomas Jefferson. So to give you a little bit of background, who was this Thomas Jefferson character before he became the third president of the United States? Well, first, he was the key author of the Declaration of Independence, which was drafted in 1776 and was a list of grievances that the colonists had at the time directed at British Parliament. So it becomes the springboard to the American Revolution. Now, after the United States was, after the Americans, I should say, colonists were victorious in the American Revolution, and after the failed Articles of Confederation, Thomas Jefferson will become the first Secretary of State. And he had this position under the first president, George Washington. Today's Secretary of State is John Kerry. But Jefferson was a key figure in George Washington's cabinet. However, he had a major disagreement with the Secretary of the Treasury, whose name was Alexander Hamilton, who you might recall I've mentioned on numerous occasions that there is the hottest play on Broadway named Hamilton. And their big disagreement was over the creation of the National Bank. Now, why were they in disagreement? Jefferson did not believe that the government had the authority to create a national bank. And his argument was that it doesn't specifically state in the Constitution that the government could do this. So he was advocating or supporting a strict interpretation of the Constitution at the time. He was arguing that we cannot do this if it doesn't specifically state that we have the right to do so. Hamilton argued that we should have a loose interpretation of the Constitution. It doesn't say that we cannot create the national bank. So there's a lot of tension between Hamilton and Jefferson, and that tension led to the creation of our first political parties, but it also led to Jefferson resigning as Secretary of State. Now, he will run for president in 1796 after Washington completed his first two terms, and he lost to John Adams, but at the time, the person who came in second became the vice president. So Thomas Jefferson will be the vice president under John Adams, even though they're from different political parties. And also, before he became president, Thomas Jefferson did have an affair, we're pretty certain, with one of his slaves, Sally Hemings. DNA testing has later been done to determine if there's an heir to the Jefferson-Sally Hemings relationship, and there is a bloodline there. Okay, so now what is the big decision that Jefferson is confronted with? Jefferson was very agricultural in his mindset. He really thought America should be an expanding nation of farmers. But one of the things he wanted to do is buy the city of New Orleans. He thought it would be a good port for us to be able to continue to expand as a trading nation. So, at the time, New Orleans was controlled by France. Now, I don't know if you're interested in this, but France was the original founder of New Orleans, but then lost New Orleans to Spain. But then when Napoleon became the leader, the Louisiana Territory came back to France. So we had to make and that was a little bit troubling for Jefferson. So we had to make this deal with France. And he sent Robert Livingston to negotiate a purchase of the city. But Napoleon is encountering many problems at the time. First of all, you might remember Toussaint Louverture. There was a slave revolt in Haiti. So that's creating, Haiti was a French colony. He's also pretty much sure he's going to have a war with Great Britain. And he's in need of money. So because of all that, Napoleon said, instead of just giving us $10 million for New Orleans, how about we'll give you all, now that would be New Orleans, how about we'll give you all of this land for $15 million? And Jefferson accepted the offer. This was less than 3 cents for an acre of land, and it more than doubled the size of the United States at the time. And it was just a tremendous purchase for us. However, there is a problem. Does the Constitution state that the president can purchase land. No, it doesn't. So you might be asking, but I thought Jefferson was a strict interpreter of the Constitution. Well, he changed his views here. He now used a loose interpretation to justify the purchase of this territory. And that's a very important concept for you all. I put that all here. The Constitution does not state the president can purchase the land, so Jefferson is now interpreting it loosely. He sent Lewis and Clark to explore the region. You might all remember they traveled with Sacagawea. And I think long term, make sure you're aware that this really sets the stage for expansion of the United States. You might remember the term manifest destiny, which was used to describe the belief that America had it was God's will that we were to expand all the way to the Pacific Ocean. And it really does. By 1853, we do expand everything you know in the continental U.S., not Alaska, not Hawaii, but everything we have in the continental U.S. is complete by 1853. You could also mention that because of all this expansion, there's going to be tremendous tension regarding whether or not we should allow these new territories to be free or slave states. And then you all know that that's going to contribute to the Civil War. I guess one thing I'll add to this, Jefferson and Adams were also rivals, although they got a little bit closer in their later years. However, they both died on the exact same day, July 4th, 1826, the 50th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And if those are chills up and down your arms right now, I totally understand. All right, good luck to everybody, and I will see you later.